Thanks for coming to the library. My name is TJ. I manage 3D printing, 3D scanning. I teach a lot of 3D design courses, that kind of thing. Teach a lot of people how to use 3D printers, and we support the 3D services that we provide here at the library. We're also moving in the direction of virtual reality, so I have a bunch of virtual reality equipment set up that hopefully everybody can try if you haven't had a chance to. Now is your opportunity. You don't want to hear me talk all day, so let's just go look at stuff. Join me. So we have 6 or 8 printers out here. They tend, as things break, we'll take one back and work on it and fix it and then bring it back out. Mostly what we have are these Lulzbot Taz machines. These are kind of the workhorses. They're the easiest ones to simplify down and break down the printing process for students. The newest editions need less calibration. They've got a lot of nice advanced features on them. In the past couple of years, we started printing in 2013. We've grown in size and complexity, and now we're in the process of really simplifying down and identifying which models we should have available to students. So this lab is open. Anytime the library is open, which during the summer we close at 10 p.m., but during the semester we close at 1 a.m. So these printers are constantly available to students. They're first come, first serve. They're available to all students, faculty, and staff. So we teach workshops. You can actually see one of our workshops is going on right now. People pop in during our workshop hours, and we teach them how to use the stuff. Because I don't want to talk over the workshop, we'll go back into the studio and talk some more about different types of printing that we offer and how we manage those services. So I have a cart full of just kind of random prints. You guys, everything on the cart is handleable. I have some delicate prints on the shelves over here, which definitely showcases some of the possibilities that we can do. So there's some really fine details on some of those prints. There's a lot of variation in what is printable and the different types of prints. So a lot of those are powder prints. On the wall here we have powder printers. So these are a totally different, when you think of a 3D printer, generally you're thinking of a fused filament fabrication. It's basically a hot glue gun strapped to a robot. You program the robot and it does stuff. These are very different. The kind of easiest way to think of it is if you were to cut out a shape on a piece of paper and then put that down as a layer and then cut out a slightly different shape and stack it on top of that and then cut out over the course of many layers, you could build a 3D form. That's what the powder printer does. It just treats each layer of powder as a sheet of paper and glues the powder together in that shape. Then we vacuum out the loose powder, and what you're left with is a glued together powder model. That's really nice because the support material is that loose powder, so you don't have to worry about building extra support structures. You can see in a lot of these, they would, like anything that requires an overhang, so like this sponge is all support material for, this is the same print but in a different color. So this hand here, we actually print these for the Center for Neural Engineering here on campus, and they put these in people, which is amazing. Well, not in people, they put them on people. But so the support material here is the pink, and then the black would be the actual print. So this would normally be wasted, right? We would just throw it out because this is what they're after. But we can print with different types of material. So this is a flexible, very strong material. You could run this over with a car and it'd be fine. what they would do is put linear actuators in here, hook those actuators up to electrodes, and put the electrodes on the patient's arm, and they could actually control a robotic hand. So we, they usually contract with us to print things. We print a lot of prosthetics. We work a lot with, the occupational therapy department to do custom orthotics, that kind of thing. There's a lot of applications here. We also just print a lot of goofy stuff. Like students want to come in and print Pokemon, totally okay. It's important for them to learn the process, because once you learn the process, yeah, there's Pikachu, classic. But I mean, it's one of those things that, until like the first time you design something on a computer and then hold it in your hand, it kind of changes you, and you realize that you can now design anything you can imagine, and so imagination becomes the limiting factor, right? So what we're here to do is kind of remove all the complexity and the challenge to those things, and then allow people to express themselves however they will. So I always like to show off my son. This is Theodore. He was 3 at the time of this 3D scan. He's 5 now.
My son is Theodore too.
It's great. He's a popular name right now. His hair's not quite so curly. It's kind of gone away as he's matured. So we have 3D scanning capabilities. 3D scanning is probably the hardest part of all of this. I mean, not to say that the printing is super simple, but scanning and getting digital images is very challenging. So we have a number of different scanners. We can talk about those processes if you'd like. I have a bunch of VR stuff set up. This is like a big old group, but there's VR equipment that abounds. The only challenge is, so I've got each of these things calibrated such that they have a play space. So each headset will pair with controllers. Turn these controllers on. There's Velcro on the sides, so if you want to put this on, you just tighten the Velcro down so it sits. I'm just going to demonstrate it really quick so there's no question. So I'm now transported to wherever I am. Okay, yeah, you can see what I see. So if I look down, I see that you can see on the screen that I can see these controllers here. And I have a circle here. So this circle is my play space. So there's a play space for each of these. One challenge, especially with a group this size, is there's not enough room for us all to stand comfortably. I have to have a basically unimpeded signal between these things and the 2 towers that are in this space. And if something blocks them, then they tend to wander. But even if you were to peek in here and kind of look around, it's interesting to see things. The controls are fairly simple. So on each controller I have a thumb button. If I press this button and kind of point the controller, you see I have like an arc, and then when I let go, I'll be standing where that circle is. Okay, so I can stand here, I can pick up this pink balloon and kind of do it and just give it a little toss, and it'll stay there. So the idea here is that we can actually have multiple people in this virtual space, so I could be across the world, but meeting with somebody in a VR space. The idea is that we would have classes. I mean, that's really where this is going, is thinking of online education. Can I meet face to face with a student in VR? Social interactions in VR are really immersive because the hands are tracked and the head is tracked. Body language translates 1-to-1. Right, so you have a high level of immersion. When I spend probably too much time in VR, and I talk to people all the time, and it's just, it's having a face-to-face conversation with somebody. There's no headphones on these headsets, so you would normally have a pair of headphones on as well. So if you're interested, these are relatively, this is all, like, you're just standing and you're in a room. There's definitely other software that like hurdles you through space and will make you feel motion sick, so probably avoid those experiences. But all of these should be calibrated, so if I look down here, I can see there's a circle on the floor. So I would encourage everybody to just peek in there and try it out. Go to your own level of comfort, right? Because we're not all ready to like hurdle through space, like I said. But just like being able to kind of, dip your toes in the water here. Note that each of these, so what we're doing here at the library is actually circulating this equipment. So I have Pelican cases that are stacked behind that television over there. We package them up and they're barcoded and students check them out. Challenges with this are you need the headset, you need a fairly expensive computer, and you need software. So it's the 3 components combined that are hard to deliver as a service. But just with the headset and a computer, students can start to create software. So as we look forward, I'm working with a lot of faculty about how do I make a simulation for the angle of light reflectivity off the sun as it travels around the Earth. Like people want to simulate all kinds of random stuff. They come to us, say, how do we build this? And I say, I don't know. Let's smash these pieces together and see what happens. Happens quite a bit. Probably this stuff is gonna be here to stay. Like these headsets are very new, right? They've been on the market and available to consumers for a little over a year. So in 5 years' time, I anticipate the future's gonna get real weird. Yeah, there's 3 HTC Vives. There is one